Welcome back to Casual EDH. This is Chris. This is number 4 of my box opening series for Dominaria United set boosters. I'm going to open up 6 booster packs. I'm going to talk about some of the cards in them. I'm going to find a card to sign at the end because I am full of myself and think I might be famous someday and think someone might want that as a real life NFT. And in general, we're just going to have some fun. So let's go ahead and dig right in. Alright, so my first card is always going to be an art card because it's a set booster, and then a land. Let's see. Alright, so this happened early. The last video, I didn't even get into the last booster pack. This is the common cycle of lands. I really like these. I think if you're on budget but you have all the normal fetches and everything, these are really solid. I think Haunted Mire is a little bit better than the other ones. Just because black-green like Golgari has so many creatures that will also go out and get you a forest, whereas some of the other ones, well, I guess I can't really say that because it's so, like, red-green is also going to be pretty common for this. But I like green-black because I really just see people playing that elf a lot. I don't remember her name, but she's the black-green one that you can tap 10 elves and everyone loses 10 life. Really good for that deck, and just really in general, this is one of the better color combinations as far as I'm concerned. So I think this is a really solid one. I just love those cards from a deck building standpoint. And the thing is, they don't trick you like other types of lands do. Like, you know they're common, you know they're going to come into play tapped, there's never anything special about them, there's nothing to make you think they're going to be better than what they are. So when you play them, you know what you're doing. Whereas some other cards will trick you into thinking they're better than they are, and then you just get bad results. I'm looking at Pain Lands, which I'll probably showcase at some point in this video too. I like King Darien. Waiting for the camera there. I like King Darien here. So he's a token matter. Other creatures get +1/+1. He gives +1/+1 to himself and also makes a soldier token. More importantly, has sacrifice. Creature tokens gain hexproof and indestructible. So he basically has a heroic intervention for token creatures. So I definitely play him in like Girid. But anything that's token matter, that's these colors, you can throw him in because he's an alternate. Now, there are other cards that have the same effect for like all creatures. But I mean, he's super cheap, so there's no reason not to use him. I do like him quite a bit. What's my art? Oh, that's one of the Joyer arts. And a foil mountain. That dude right there. I think that's a dude. Alright. Urborg Repossession. I don't think I've seen this card. Turn a creature card from graveyard to your hand. You gain 2 life. This spell is kicked. Return another target permanent card from your graveyard to your hand. So for 3 mana, you get a creature back, gain 2 life, and another permanent, or for 1 mana you get a creature back and 2 life. That's actually pretty solid. I can see that being used in some low to mid-level decks. I don't think you'd use that in like 6+ if you're going on the 10 scale, but I could definitely see that going up to 5 at least. Like, that's actually pretty solid. I kind of like that. Urborg. Tear Asunder. Is this... Alright, so green-black, yep, Golgari, exile target. Spells kicked. Exile target. Okay, so basically it's a Golgari, forget, like, exile target artifact or enchantment. So with the Theros gods especially being as prevalent as they are, that's really solid for 2 mana. But for an additional 2, you have an Utter End. On an uncommon. That's actually pretty good. That's actually pretty solid. Lagomos, Tatiova, Radha, Guardian Nubenalia. Well, that was sad. Alright. Ooh, signed art. That used to mean something. That meant something for a very short while there. Bite down. I wish that was like a fight, because there's definitely cards that can utilize fight, but that's not fight. Alright. Wow, that's actually a bit of a depressing depressing end there. I actually had to look at those like 2 or 3 times each just to be like, am I going to talk about one of these cards? That's the problem with Dominaria. It's got so many legends, so there's just so much text on some of these cards. It's not even funny. I think that's... I know who that is. I don't remember their name, though. It's the black... it's the black-red one that if creature dies outside of combat, each opponent loses a life, and if they die in combat, you draw a card. Yeah, I mean, this isn't really the strongest set. Now, that's a nice throwback to Coalition Relic. Coalition Relic was reprinted in Time Spiral Remastered, and I'm pretty sure most people who've played the game for a little bit probably have a copy of the card. So I'm not going to go into that. But I do like this because, unlike most of those uncommon 3-mana tap to add mana of any color, it has an alternate way of getting mana, and it actually doesn't require tapping this card. Tap an untapped legendary creature you control, add 1 mana of any color. They could have summoning sickness. You can still tap them for this because it's this tapping them down, not their own effect, right? It doesn't give them tap to gain a mana. It just taps them to get mana. So especially in some of those Captain Sisay decks or the new Joda deck, Dihada, you can actually get a lot out of this, more than you'd even think. So yeah, I mean, probably I think this is actually a pretty solid one to play in quite a few decks. I kind of hate the 3-mana tap add mana of any color ones. I don't think they're generally good. I think this one's an exception in certain cases. Aaron Joyra. Hey, look, there's that Joyra again. I was just had her art here a little bit. I didn't say she was good. It's just, you know. I mean, I don't think she's bad. It's just not something I'm going to use. Basically, she has tap, put 2 Ingenuity counters on her. Then you may put an artifact card with mana value X or less from your hand, where X is the number of Ingenuity counters on her. So you have to have her out over several turns to start getting the really big things out. And basically, people know you're going to be doing that. They're going to be targeting her very heavily. You're going to have to invest a lot into her own defense. It's just... I don't know. I mean, you're good. You can have fun with her at lower levels. I wouldn't probably play her past a 5 or a 6. I mean, you might be able to get a 7 out of her, but I don't know. Phasing a Zalfir. So this is another one to skip ahead, so you can go to any one of the chapters. So basically, the first 2 chapters, another target permanent phases out. It can't phase in as long as you control phasing a Zalfir. And then destroy all creatures. For each creature destroyed this way, its controller creates a 2/2 black Phyrexian creature token. So you can use it to save a couple of your creatures, and then plan for a board wipe, or just do the board wipe. You don't see too many true destroy creature type board wipes in blue, so that's pretty interesting just to begin with. Like I could pay 4 mana just to destroy all the creatures, and that's not terrible. So having the other effects of the age counters is alright. If you have ways to proliferate on the field before you do it, then that's great. Ooh, more signed art. I'm just going to put that right there. I'm not going to talk about those anymore. They're just going to go up to the top. Alright, Defiler of Vigor. I love this card. It does everything you want in green. It reduces mana costs. You have to pay life for it. It gives +1/+1 counters to things. A 6/6 for 5 with Trample isn't terrible. I've already put a copy of one of these into my elf deck. I have a mono green elf deck that runs Azuri Renegade Leader. And I already love him so much in there because there's several elves that tap for their power, and he just adds on power. He also makes the elves quicker. Not that they weren't fast because they're elves anyway. This is a card that's going to get a lot of use in EDH or Commander. Sorry, I call myself Casual EDH because it's a pun. Casual EDH. Haha. But the format's actually Commander. You should know that. So, anyways, this is a card that you're going to see in the format in the future. If you're not seeing it now, you will be. I promise. It is actually solidly good. And then we have more art and more land. Phyrexian Rager, I do like him. Gibbering Barricade. Defender. That's a little on the boring side. Yep, I get to poop on another one of the pain lands. Hooray! That looks nice foily. It's I don't like it, but it's nice foily. Ooh. Yeah. So if you haven't heard already from the other videos, I don't like the pain lands. They used to be a staple, and they really aren't now. They just did not age well. There's so many better options. If you're looking for something that comes into play untapped and gives you your mana, you don't need to be hurting yourself every turn. If you do have to be hurting yourself every turn, you can play one of several. There's 6 of them out of the from the because you had the one from Future Sight, and then you had the 5 from Modern Horizons, the ones that hurt you, but then you can also you can actually sacrifice them and draw a card. Those ones are strictly better as far as I'm concerned. But even then, like if you just want blue or white mana, you know, there's a card for that in Innistrad, you know, in other sets. Like you can do better. People feel like you have to play these, so these are an essential card for the format still. And that's why I don't like them, because there are other cards that do what they do better. And since people feel like they have to play them, they're just basically tricking themselves into taking damage they don't need to. That's why I like these common ones. Like, you know, they're not the greatest, but they are what they are. You know, they don't pretend anything. So speaking of these, I'm gonna go ahead and put that back. This will be the 4th video that I'm gonna sign off on. So, just for posterity, in case anything ever happens, I like that one. Blue on black. Ooh. It's been fun. You all have a good one.